I live in Henderson, over by Black Mountain.
Okay. So I guess give me a rundown of what happened with your family member and when did this all start?
So everything started with my aunt came to visit us from Mexico on February 27th. Shortly after, around the 6th or the 7th, first my aunt started to get sick. She developed a cough and a fever, and my dad the next day also developed a fever. A few days later, I took my father into urgent care. That was on the 11th, where he was diagnosed with acute pneumonia. They gave him some medicine, some antibacteria, and he didn't get any better. So he spent the weekend hoping the medicine would help. And then the Monday, let me look at my calendar. It was Monday the 16th, I believe. I took him into the urgent care again. He was having trouble breathing. Um, uh, he just wasn't doing well. Um, when we got there, his oxygen level was at 80 and his pulse was at 40. So they decided to take him into the hospital, and that was the last time that I saw him. And as for my aunt, my cousins from Los Angeles came to pick her up, and they took her to Los Angeles. And she was also still feeling the same symptoms. She didn't go to the doctor here. They took her once they got to Los Angeles, and they gave her some medicine for the cough. So my dad was in the hospital. Things took a turn for the worse on Friday. Friday morning, my aunt passed away, and that same morning, my brother, I'm sorry, my father was having trouble breathing. He couldn't talk. We were FaceTiming him, and he just looked panicked. So I called the nurses station at the hospital, and nobody answered. But then I called my dad's phone back, and a nurse answered his phone and told me that they think he was having a stroke because he wasn't responding. So they took him in for, I think it was a CT scan, and they didn't find anything with a stroke, but they're going to treat it as if he did. But they also noticed that he was having a heart attack. So they I spoke to a cardiologist. They installed a stilt in or stent in his one of his veins in his heart. And Saturday, things were looking stable. He wasn't doing any better, but he wasn't. It was nothing was improving. And then Sunday morning, we got a call stating that he was coding every few minutes, and he was going into cardiac arrest. And he passed away at around 2 o'clock by himself. We weren't allowed to visit because of the quarantine. They're not letting anybody in right now at the hospital. Um, so we've just been dealing with that, and thankfully he didn't have to hear the news about my aunt passing. He was on Friday morning when he had that heart attack. They put him on a ventilator, so they put him in a coma. Right before they put him on the ventilator, they let us FaceTime with him. He looked like he was responsive. He was able to say. We asked him if he could hear us, and he nodded yes. So we were able to say, give him some words of encouragement before they put him on the ventilator. And we still haven't been able to see his body because we've also been quarantined because he tested positive for it. And my mom's test came back yesterday as positive as well. Um,
At what point did they the idea or topic of COVID-19 come up with the doctors?
um, it was sometime after he was in the hospital. Maybe I think I called for an update on Tuesday, and I think that's when they said that they're treating it as if he had it, but they didn't receive the results back. They didn't tell me about the positive result until Saturday, the day before he passed.
So this last Saturday, right?
Yeah, this last Saturday. Yeah, the
And
21st.
and was your aunt tested as well?
She was tested. I haven't heard back from my cousin to see if it was positive or not, but I believe the news did report it out there in Los Angeles as it being a COVID-19 case.
Hmm.
She was in Linwood, California.
Okay. And she is from Mexico?
Yeah, she's from Guadalajara.
And she traveled. Did she have symptoms when she was traveling as well?
No, she didn't have any symptoms.
Not until she got here.
Not till she got here, yeah.
I mean, it all seems like it kind of happened pretty quick as well.
Yeah, it was really quick. We thought it was just maybe the flu or a cold, because the past few months we've all been getting sick at home. I have a 6-year-old that's in kindergarten, and they were just passing the flu around and they're bringing it home. I was sick for 2 or 3 weeks with the flu and had a bad sinus infection afterwards. So we thought it was just something still along those lines of something that my son may have brought over from school.
Tell me about your family situation now. I mean, your mom tested positive, but is she in the same house as you? How
Yeah.
are your family doing?
Yeah, we all live in the same household. My father lived with us, and my mother lives here too. We have two kids. One's 14, one's 6, and we've been tested, except for the kids. We're just waiting on the results to come back.
So you don't know right now if you have it.
No, but they said we probably have it because of my mother's positive result, and I was the one that was taking my father to all the urgent care. He was in the car with me. It was a small car, Honda Civic. Um, so he was pretty close to me.
How do you feel?
Just devastated. It feels like a nightmare. It just won't end. We're I'm grateful for all the people that have reached out to us, all the family and friends, and I heard from my work. Our president put it out there, and they're supporting us with whatever we need. So really thankful for that. But I'm just devastated for our losses. We lost my aunt and my father, and this just broke up two families. This just you know devastated us.
How's your mom doing? I mean, as far as symptoms, is she showing any or is she?
No, nobody is showing any symptoms. Well, my wife, she's showing mild symptoms, like things that we've heard about, like um, loss of taste and smell. But we're just feeling a lot of anxiety right now for it. And then allergy season too, so
Yeah.
there's just much going on. We have with all the rain, there's a lot of weeds outside.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. Tell me about your dad. I mean, was he? I saw in a message from Sasha that he was a pretty healthy guy.
Yeah, he was pretty healthy. He would run every day here at Mission Hills Park. Um, he A couple of weeks before he passed, well, it hasn't even been a few weeks. Sorry, a couple of weeks before my aunt got here, he was telling me that he found a group of guys out at the park to play soccer with. So he wanted to buy some soccer cleats. He was a soccer coach. When me and my brothers were growing up, he was our coach in AYSO. He coached when he worked at the Palms. He coached the team there, with a couple of employees. So he was really active. So we thought, he doesn't have these underlying conditions. He didn't smoke. He didn't drink. That you hear about. So we thought that he would pull it off. That he would come through.
Um, do you have any message out right now for people out there who, I mean, for a lot of people, this isn't a reality as much as
Mhm.
it is for you. What would you say to people out there who might see your story?
That they take it serious. A lot of I'm a millennial, but we're all in our 30s now. It's the younger generation, the Gen Z. They need to take it seriously because it's you might think that you won't get it, but you can still carry it and pass it along to your parents or grandparents who or other members of the community that are less vulnerable. They're more vulnerable. People with suppressed immune systems, that cancer survivors. They need to be conscious of of that, and not just think, well, I don't. They need to just stop and think about it for the state. Think about it for us, for our community, so that we can heal and get back to work.
So how long have you been in quarantine, and how long do you expect to, or and when do you expect to get those results?
They said in the next few days. Um, we've been in quarantine since. So the last time we went out was Sunday afternoon. We went to get tested. That was around 5 o'clock. Um, so we've been at home since Sunday, but even before that, we've been staying at home. My mother worked till Thursday, and that was the last time that she was out. And I've been working from home, and so has my wife. So
Um, where does when you found out your dad tested positive, or yeah, positive for COVID-19? At what point did any medical professionals look at you or family and say you guys need to be tested as well?
we had nobody from the hospital reached out. It was a doctor at the first clinic that we went to at Southwest Medical. It's a clinic here on Lake Mead Parkway by the Target Shopping Center. She's been really helpful. Her staff has been really helpful. They've been guiding us through this, and they asked us to come down and get tested. And even though we don't have the same insurance, they tested us as well, and my mother as well. So, and the county reached out. They're having us input our if we have any symptoms daily onto an app, and they said that if our sons show symptoms, that they would come out here and test them.
Interesting. How is, I mean, I know you can't get your dad's belongings, A, because of what you guys can't leave the house, but B, also, I mean, did they say why?
So apparently, my dad didn't fill out the forms, and he was having trouble breathing. He didn't put in an emergency contact when he arrived at the hospital. So the I spoke to somebody in security. I don't know if it was the head of security there. I can't recall his name, but he said that we would need a court order to get his belongings back. So we have a lot of his photos there, and on his phone that we'd like to have, and his wallet. So
Yeah, did they say, I guess you can't go anywhere. Courts aren't even really open to do any of this, huh?
yeah.
So what's going to happen with his remains? Did they say anything about that?
Well, it's been transferred to the funeral home. I'm working with David's Funeral Homes to get the process going. Our plans are to cremate him, and we're going to send half of the remains to Guadalajara to our family mausoleum, and the other half is going to stay here with us in Las Vegas at a cemetery at a mausoleum.
I guess when you do get those updates on your test, I'd love to know, just for the
Yeah.
sake of this and moving forward, just to kind of follow your journey with this whole thing. Any last words you'd like to say for people about this experience that you and your family have gone through? I mean, I watch the news every day. I mean, so do a lot of people, and this hasn't really affected them the way it has affected you.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't watch a lot of news. I get most of my news from Reddit and online. So I've been mostly seeing what's happening in other countries, and I never in my wildest imagination thought that it would reach us. And it could happen to anybody. You don't know who's a carrier because some people are asymptomatic. So it's best just to limit your contact. I don't understand why people are waiting in line if people are still hoarding. Try to get everything online. All the people that are out there working for us. I'm just grateful for we've still been able to get deliveries. These people that are still working the deliveries, staying away from other people. It's great. So we should take advantage of that if possible. But it's not worth, you're getting extra toilet paper to possibly get infected and spread it around, because if one person can spread it to multiple people. So it's you just need to do your part
Yeah.
and stay home.